Is that, dude?
The sky is warning us about something. And why are all the signs showing up at the same time? Clouds ripping apart, light shooting down, strong winds whipping through, strange objects streaking across the daytime sky. This isn't just a few random events anymore. Everything is piling up, pressing right into the present, like time itself is being squeezed tight. 10 events in a row exploding, standing tall, swallowing everything, sweeping through, then vanishing. Each scene flashes for a moment, then goes dark, leaving questions with no answers yet. What are they really? And what's waiting ahead? Do you still think this is all just coincidence? If the answer is no, please leave a prayer in the comments below as a way to show God that you're still listening and trusting Him. Amen. Now, so you don't have to wait long, let's get right into it. 1. A huge cloud rips the sky wide open. A tornado appears out of nowhere. In a flash, God is in control of it all. The sky was calm 1 second, then it changed color in the blink of an eye. Dark clouds rolled in low. Wind slammed straight into the open space. A giant cloud got torn apart, showing a deep, dark hole, and from that hole, a column-shaped thing dropped straight down to the ground. That moment reminds us there are times when no warning comes. You just look up and see something way beyond human control. Out on the wide open plains, where the sky is usually clear, the clouds split open like they were being pulled apart. The edges curled and folded. Air got sucked hard toward one spot. The column came down and locked onto the ground. Right after, the tornado kicked up, whipping dust and sand, tearing through the wind, sweeping away everything in a circle hundreds of feet wide. It all happened like a set of sharp, planned moves. Wind speed jumped fast. The spinning got tighter. Dirt and clouds mixed together in a cold, orderly way. This wasn't random. It was started, brought down, and guided from beginning to end. When nature runs with that kind of exact power, the question isn't what happened, but who is running the whole thing right in front of our eyes. Interestingly, Exodus 13:21 once said, "The Lord went ahead of them in a pillar of cloud by day to lead them, and in a pillar of fire by night to give them light," so they could travel day and night. That pillar of cloud wasn't just for guidance. It was a sign that God's power could show up right in the sky and reach straight down to the earth. Today's cloud isn't leading anyone. It's waking people up. That column isn't protecting, it's starting judgment. Exodus 19:9 warns, "Behold, I will come to you in a thick cloud, so the people may hear when I speak with you." When thick clouds come down low and the ground shakes right under your feet, it's no longer just a sight to watch. It's a warning you can't ignore. Revelation 1-7 says, "Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him." No one gets left out of that moment. When clouds tear open and the tornado rises, it's a sign that a much bigger cleansing is coming close, and these disasters are just the start of events already set in place. The tornado will pass, the sky may clear again, but the question still hangs there. If this was only the beginning, then when God's power stops being just a warning, what will come down next from the sky? 2. A shimmering pillar of light stands tall, defying every law of physics. In the middle of a vast snowy forest, a light suddenly flashes like a secret just revealed. The air is misty, tree shadows melt into the white, and straight up from the ground rises a sparkling column of light. It trembles gently, spreads out, feeling both close and far away at the same time, as if the line between sky and earth is being unlocked. Deep in the Alaska wilderness, where temperatures drop well below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, millions of ice crystals hang in the air, catching light and lining up perfectly vertical. The pillar of light reaches upward, perfectly still, with snowflakes swirling around it like they're following a quiet command. In that moment, it feels like the light has been placed there at exactly the right spot, at exactly the right time. Exodus 13:21 once said. The Lord went ahead of his people in a pillar of cloud by day to guide them, and in a pillar of fire by night to give them light, so they could travel day and night. That pillar of light in the snowy forest brings back that sacred memory, like a sign appearing right when people need reminding. Revelation 21:11 also described it this way. The city has the glory of God. Its light is like a very precious jewel, like jasper, clear as crystal. The light in the snowy forest carries that pure beauty, hinting at a source of glory beyond what our eyes can normally see. Online, people quickly split into two groups. Those without faith right away try to find the most logical scientific answer, analyzing, measuring, connecting it to the light pillar phenomenon, where flat ice crystals reflect a low light source. Meanwhile, believers take it calmly, remember, and connect it to images recorded long ago, as if the light is something they've always known. Ezekiel 1-4 once wrote, "I looked, and there was a whirlwind coming from the north, with a huge cloud and fire flashing all around. There was a brilliant light surrounding it. Light, clouds, unclouds, unclouds, and Ezekiel 1 and the north all show up together, forming a chain of reminders through the history of faith. So this pillar of light in the snowy forest serves to wake up faith, reminding us that glory can appear in nature in a precise and purposeful way. Darkness steps back for a moment. Light takes center stage, and the question still hangs there. Now that this sign has appeared, what will be revealed next in the sky? 3. A beam of light shot down, very decisive and powerful. The beach along the American coast stayed quiet and familiar until the sky suddenly opened up. A thin, straight beam of light pierced down from the low clouds, hung steady in mid-air for a moment, then hit the sand in just a few seconds. The light came so fast that most people only had time to look up. Do you believe the scene right in front of your eyes is real and actually happened? Inside the core of the light, a craft appeared faintly. Its surface blended with the clouds, bending the light around it so the edges almost disappeared. The object stayed perfectly vertical, hanging still for a brief moment. Then the light pulled back and shot upward. The craft immediately climbed higher, sliced through the clouds, and was gone. Matthew 24-30 records a sign appearing in the sky. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. All the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. The way the light came down from the clouds, then pulled back up with them, matches a pattern we see in prophetic writings. The craft's movement went against normal physics. It changed position instantly, shot straight up, and left sight without any long trail. No shockwave, no spreading heat, just a slight stir in the air, like space had been unlocked and then locked again. Acts 1-9 describes a similar moment. After he said this, he was taken up before their very eyes, and a cloud hid him from their sight. The image of being lifted up, hidden by a cloud, and disappearing from human view fits exactly with how the craft left, quick, clean, and final. People came up with many explanations: military test, high-tech drone, guided laser. But the way it blended into sight, plus movement beyond normal aerodynamics, makes those technical answers hard to believe. This didn't feel like a show. It felt like a purposeful visit. Revelation 1-7 says, "Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him." This light didn't stick around for analysis or repeat for proof. It appeared just long enough to be seen, then left at the right moment, leaving a big question hanging in the air. That craft left the beach, but the question remains. If this was an observation, where was its point of view? And next time, where will the light come down? 4. Mysterious cloud and hundreds of strange glowing orbs all rushing toward it. A video going around from an outdoor construction site shows something odd in the sky. Against a wide spread of clouds, a perfectly round cloud ball stands out on its own, just hanging there. Then it pulses with light twice, like it's sending a signal. The glow fades, leaving you with the feeling that this was more than just a quick visual moment. It carried deeper meaning. The round cloud keeps its even shape with a soft, glowing surface, almost like an object wrapped in a hazy cover. After the second pulse, small orbs from different directions speed up and head straight for the center. Their movements are perfectly in sync, sharp and purposeful, giving the sense of some orderly force pulling them in. If you saw this with your own eyes, would you call it a natural phenomenon or a deliberate sign? Luke 21:25 paints a similar scene. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be anxious and confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves. These signs in the sky are mentioned as markers, showing up to make people look up and think about what's happening beyond our usual understanding. Online, people quickly split into two groups. Those who lean on pure science look for answers in optical effects, lens flares, or rare cloud formations. Meanwhile, believers take it calmly, seeing the orderly movement of the orbs as a familiar sign that's been mentioned in prophetic writings before. Both views exist side by side, each with its own way of looking at things. Revelation 6:13 gives a powerful picture. The stars in the sky fell to the earth, like figs shaken loose from a fig tree by a strong wind. The feeling of things moving down from the sky and gathering at one point echoes that ancient sense of awe the passage once stirred. What happened next only deepened the mystery. As the orbs got close to the cloud ball, the light shrank, the shape blurred, and then the whole thing just dissolved into the sky, leaving an empty space that left viewers puzzled. The event ended quickly, but the talk about it has kept going. Matthew 24-29 talks about a time when the sky changes. The sun will be darkened. The moon will lose its light. The stars will fall from the sky. And the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Those words put this recent sighting in the role of a hint, inviting us to think about bigger realities working behind the familiar clouds. The sky seems to be hiding layers of structure beyond our everyday notice. The orbs vanished along with the round cloud, but the questions are still hanging there. Where did they come from, and what was the purpose of that gathering? What's coming next? 5. Mysterious blue beam sweeps the ground, like it's searching for something. The sky turned dark. Then, a green ray cut down and swept straight across the land, like a scanner looking for something. That sight stopped normal life cold, leaving one big question hanging. What would you do if that light passed right in front of you? The beam stayed a bright green, sliding slowly over the ground, checking each area in a steady, even path. The movement was smooth and constant, like it already knew what it was after. People caught it on video in many spots across the U.S. mainland and in Hawaii too, and word spread fast. Just a few hours, and everyone was paying attention. Joel 2:30 shows a similar scene. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood, fire, and pillars of smoke. Fire coming down from the sky is given as a wake-up call, meant to snap people out of their safe routines. This green beam sweeping the ground carries that same feeling, a signal that makes you stop and really look. Researchers talk about military lasers, spy satellites, or weather instruments that use green light. But the way it happened at the same time, in far apart places, with that slow, searching motion, still leaves some things unexplained. Do you think science has really figured out the core of this, or are we only seeing the surface? Revelation 8:10 says, a great star fell from heaven, burning like a torch, and it fell on a third of the rivers. That falling light there is like a judgment, showing heaven stepping in to examine things on earth. Put it side by side with this green beam scanning the land, and the warning feels stronger than ever. Luke 21:11 keeps going. There will be great signs and wonders from heaven. Those signs come to challenge our pride, reminding us that real power is way beyond anything we can measure. The green beam, cold in color and moving with purpose, acts like a quiet accusation. The world is being watched. When the light lifted away, the sky went back to its fragile calm, but the image stayed burned in people's minds. The warning came in a language without words. If this was a scan from up high, what just got tagged? The green beam swept over and disappeared, leaving the ground the same but shaking people's thoughts. The last question still hangs there. Has that beam found what it was looking for? Or is the next pass just waiting for the right time? 6. A glowing light, changing shape like it's alive, watching us. The shock came right in the middle of the day. The sky was blue, then suddenly it lit up. A bright point of light hung there high above, so brilliant that everyone's eyes stopped and stared at the same moment. It appeared out of nowhere, stayed still for a second, then started moving gently, like someone had just breathed life into it. It made us feel like this moment had been set up just for us to see. The light stayed steady over a neighborhood in the US, changing shape with every blink, now round, now stretched out, now shrinking back, like it was adjusting itself. The glowing came in a steady rhythm, getting brighter and softer in a calm, orderly way. It felt like a living thing, quietly watching everything around it. Matthew 24-30 sets the stage for seeing the daytime sky in a different light. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. A light hanging there in broad daylight suggests a sign that goes beyond the normal order. A quiet reminder that the sky has always carried deeper meaning than what we usually see. The light kept pulsing, stretching, and shrinking, then slowly faded away without a sound. The sun kept shining, the clouds kept drifting, but that bright point simply slipped out of sight, leaving no trace behind. You can't help but wonder what was watching us just before it left. Revelation 1-7 strengthens this feeling. Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. Showing up and then disappearing in the daylight fits the way the Bible describes brief appearances, long enough to notice, long enough to remember, and long enough to wake up sleeping faith. Lots of people offered astronomy explanations, maybe a planet reflecting strongly, or some test aircraft. Still, the constant shape-shifting and orderly pulsing light pull the mind in another direction. Believers took it calmly, because in Scripture, living light often shows up as a sign of something holy being present. Revelation 21:11 describes that glory with light. The city has the glory of God, and its light is like a very precious jewel. When you put that next to the daytime light we just saw, it quietly but firmly stirs up faith, a gentle reminder that something from above is always watching. The light is gone now, but the feeling of being observed lingers. It might have been an illusion, or it might have been a call to wake up. When the daytime sky still shows signs this alive, one question hangs in the air. Has that light really left for good, or is it just waiting for another moment to appear again? 7. Strange cold green light in New York City. The cold green light popped on in the middle of the New York City night, like a straight punch to the eyes. From Astoria, Queens, the whole space above the city glowed fiercely, spreading fast through the buildings, bouncing off high-rise windows, strong enough to halt traffic, delay flights, and stop the subways. That moment hit so suddenly, making everyone pause at the same time, like the biggest city in America had just been thrown under an emergency alert. The green light held steady, without chaotic flickering, forming a tall plasma electric column that stretched high and covered miles. That glow wrapped around neighborhoods, weighed down on streets, and swallowed up the usual darkness. In that instant, you could see the familiar city turn strange, like it was being lit up by some force beyond everyday life. Joel 2:30 came up like a warning, echoing in that cold green light. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. Images of fire and light pillars mentioned thousands of years ago now showed up in a modern city, where folks think they've got all the power under control. The light kept going long enough for videos to spread all over social media. Lots of people explained it as a high-voltage arc at Con Edison's substation, a rare tech glitch. Science breakdowns gave terms and described the process, but the feeling it left went way beyond a dry tech report. Revelation 6:12 opened up another layer when it said, "The sun turned black like sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood." Even with different colors, the thread was still changes in the skylight, signaling a shift. The Bible showed those signs appear to shake up how people think, not just to feed curiosity. Folks without faith saw it as a power outage, while believers spotted a deeper reminder. Even systems built by people are under the higher order allowed by the Almighty. Man-made light, when it gets out of hand, can still wake up a sleeping conscience. Luke 21:11 added depth to this view. There will be great signs and fearful sights from heaven. Put next to the New York City event, that Bible verse linked the now to ancient warnings, like a thread running through history. The cold green light finally faded. Power came back bit by bit, and the city slipped back into its usual rhythm. But the echo of that moment stuck in many minds. The question hanging there: if just one power glitch can shake up a whole city, what happens when bigger signs all show up at once? 8. Strange, colorful lights hung motionless in the night sky. A bright flash exploded over Tucson in the middle of the night, like a cut across the dark curtain. From a height that's hard to judge, a white point burst out fiercely, then broke apart into many colors behind a thin layer of clouds, leaving a smoke trail that hung there for a long time. It happened so fast that you barely realized you'd just seen something really rare. The light spread out wide, the colors flowed and gently twisted along a curved path, then slowly faded, like it had just finished sending a message. The smoke trail stretched long and stayed oddly still, not moving much with the desert wind. The whole feeling was that this was arranged on purpose, and it left people who saw it quiet for a few breaths. Revelation 8-7:10 gives an old reference for times when the sky sends signals. Quote, "The first angel sounded. Fire mixed with blood fell to the earth. The third angel sounded, and a great star, burning like a torch, fell from heaven." The image of light exploding and leaving a mark suggests warnings that come quick, clear, and hard to forget. The event in Tucson was caught from many different angles. Some people thought it looked like a missile trail or a high-altitude meteor exploding. Still, the way the light split into colors behind the clouds, plus that stubborn smoke trail, made it more than the usual explanations. You could sense this moment carried deeper meaning than just a normal light show. Matthew 24-27 adds more depth. "For as the lightning flashes from the east to the west, so will the coming of the Son of Man be." The light in Tucson flashed, spread wide, then faded, leaving a strong impression, just like the Bible's rhythm, short, direct, and powerful enough to wake you up. Believers see this as a gentle reminder, a sign sent through nature to show that an unseen order is still at work. People who lean towards science look for a physical explanation, but the lack of a complete answer leaves room for faith to step in. Revelation 8:10 stresses that these signs keep coming. A great star fell on the rivers and the springs of water. When you put that next to the colorful light we just saw, the Bible's flow feels like a hint, encouraging us to see these events as connected steps, not just one-time things. The light faded, the colors settled, and the smoke trail slowly disappeared into the desert night. What's left hanging over Tucson is this question: if this was a message being sent, who's it for? And when will the next signal show up. 9. A strange white object moving at extremely high speed. Under the small window of a nighttime flight, the sky suddenly got torn open by a cold white streak. It shot past so fast, your eyes could only catch it like a quick slash. No boom, no long trail of fire, just a moment that made your heart drop. Have you ever seen something up in the sky that your gut told you didn't belong there? It happened while a regular passenger plane was flying near the US-Mexico border area. That airspace feels familiar, but it's full of old stories people pass around. From way up, tens of thousands of feet, passengers spotted a thin, neat white object streak across the dark blue sky at a speed much faster than any balloon or normal plane. It didn't fall, didn't turn, and didn't leave a long glowing tail like a shooting star. What made that moment feel so heavy was a strange feeling of, I've seen this before, that's hard to explain. Reports like this have shown up here and there for decades, from old film clips to pilot stories, with the same things: pale white color, crazy high speed, and total silence. If it was just random, why does the same picture keep coming back almost exactly the same over all these years? Luke 21:25-27 once said something that makes you pause. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars, and people will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. When you place those words next to a white object slipping through the clouds, a lot of folks stop seeing it as just coincidence. Of course, there's always room for doubt. Some think it might be satellite pieces or a small meteor going through the atmosphere. But meteors usually leave a bright, fiery streak, and man-made junk rarely holds a steady shape and speed like what's been seen over and over again for years. The real question isn't a fast answer. It's the worrying way these sightings stay so consistent. Revelation 1-7 adds another layer. Look, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye will see him. When the sky turns into a stage for things that don't fit normal rules, those old words start feeling more like a real explanation than just a far-off picture. If those objects aren't just bits of junk, but signs of something that's always there, then their silence might be more troubling than any loud thunder. They don't come to explain, they don't hang around to be grabbed, they just flash by like a short reminder. And as the plane kept going, the sky went back to looking peaceful and normal, leaving only questions floating there. If they've never really gone away and still quietly show up above us, what's the right way to react to these signs? 10. Mysterious glowing object floating in the sky. In the quiet stillness of a neighborhood, the sky suddenly showed something that made everything go silent. A glowing shape just hanging there, its body pulsing gently like a living thing, with two long trails hanging down slowly behind it. That one moment was enough to make anyone who saw it stop and stare. What would you think if something floating right above you didn't look like anything you've ever known? It wasn't rushing or making any noise. It moved slow and steady, almost like it was watching. The light coming from it wasn't bright and glaring. It was soft, changing gently like breathing. Two long tentacle-like things trailed behind, swaying lightly with the air. It didn't feel like a machine with no life. It felt like something with its own kind of order. Its presence was calm, yet it left you feeling uneasy in a way that's hard to put into words. The people standing below couldn't say a thing. They just looked up. It wasn't a cluster of balloons. The shape and movement were too steady. It wasn't a drone. No wings, no sound, no man-made path. It seemed like it was taking everything in, scanning, remembering what was below, then quietly drifting away, leaving a heavy feeling in people's minds. Ezekiel 1-4:28 once described a scene that has made many generations stop and think. I looked, and there was a stormy wind coming from the north. A great cloud with fire flashing, and in the middle of the fire were living creatures. A glowing body, orderly movement, something beyond normal earthly patterns. And it suddenly felt like an old echo ringing through today's sky. Some people tried to find a sensible explanation, saying it must be some test equipment or an eye trick, but the steady pulsing, the organic shape, and the long hovering didn't fit the usual rules of technology. The things humans make usually show a clear purpose. This felt like something beyond human plans. Revelation 4-6-8 opens another picture. Around the throne were 4 living creatures, full of eyes in front and behind. Each one had a different appearance. When you put those words next to this strange thing in the sky, a lot of people stop seeing the Bible as just symbols. It starts feeling like a final word about the limits of what we humans can understand. If this is something allowed to show up, its purpose isn't to show off. It's to remind us that the world we see is only a small part of what's real. To remind us that the greatest power isn't in technology or human smarts. It's with the one who decides when things are revealed. As the object slowly faded away, the sky went back to normal. But people's hearts didn't. Faith doesn't come from understanding everything. It comes from realizing we can't understand everything. And the question that lingers isn't, what was it? It's, where will we place our trust when these signs keep getting clearer? Here are 10 phenomena that have passed by like different slices of the same sky, from strange sounds ringing out in the middle of the night, lights moving in impossible ways, to shapes we can't even name. Each event has its own look, but when you put them side by side, they form one continuous chain. They're not random or disconnected. We're not just seeing odd things. We're being gently led to look wider, deeper, beyond what our eyes can normally catch. When we hold that picture up next to the Bible, the pieces start fitting together. Matthew 24-6-8 warned us, "You will hear of wars and rumors of wars, but that's only the beginning of the birth pains. Those signs in the sky and on the earth aren't meant to scare us. They're meant to wake us up, to remind us that history is heading toward a climax that's been foretold." The strange lights, unknown objects, and sounds from the sky bring to mind Luke 21:25. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish. When those ancient words echo in today's world, we realize the Bible isn't stuck in the past. It quietly walks with every change humanity goes through. With everything happening now, what's most important isn't arguing over what's right or wrong. It's the attitude of our hearts. Being awake doesn't mean panicking. It means coming back to inner calm and clear thinking. Prayer isn't about escaping reality. It's about standing firm right in the middle of it. Matthew 24-42 reminds us, "So keep watch, because you don't know what day your Lord will come." In this flood of confusing information, faith becomes our solid anchor. Trusting in the Lord doesn't make us weak. It helps us see clearly, stay at peace, and not get swept away by collective fear. Psalm 91:1 says it plainly, "Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty." That's not some far-off promise. It's an invitation to step into real spiritual protection. If anything I've shared today touches something inside you, feel free to leave a short prayer or a simple, honest thought as a way of answering that quiet call. True fellowship often starts with the simplest words, yet they have real power to lift each other up in faith. To help these messages keep reaching people, you can show your support by liking, sharing with someone who needs to hear them, and following the channel so you don't miss any of the reminders ahead. Every small step plants a seed of awakening. Finally, thank you from the heart to everyone who has listened all the way to this moment. May the peace of the Lord be with us and our families every day, no matter what comes. Amen.
Our possible biological lab inside a Las Vegas home, now under investigation.
look so close. Like you can touch them.
What is that, man?
What's going on when strange things keep happening one after another, with no warning and no time to get ready? The world we know suddenly feels so strange when things we thought could never happen are now right there in front of our eyes, plain as day. Secret labs get exposed, diseases creeping up, volcanoes shooting fire into the sky, strange objects tearing through the night, multiple suns appearing at the same time, metallic sounds echoing across the air, shadowy figures standing in the clouds, glowing rings hanging in the sky, the heavens seeming to open then close again. 10 phenomena, 10 signs, coming one right after another without stopping. Do you think this is just random, or is it a serious warning? Come along with me. Let's keep going and find the real answer, okay? And if you believe, please leave a prayer in the comments as a way to show your faith to the Lord. Amen. Now, let's go deeper together and pull back the curtains on some truly shocking truths. We'll start right now with 1. Secret biolab in Las Vegas uncovered. Deadly disease monsters lurking for humanity. A locked-up garage in the outskirts of Las Vegas was just busted open by federal agents. That led to lots of sealed biological containers and a quiet emergency investigation getting started. No sirens, no public warning, but word spread fast once the FBI and local police blocked off the scene, turning a normal neighborhood into a serious biosecurity hotspot. At this point, this isn't just some random story, it's one we have to face head-on. Inside the garage, agents found over 1,000 illegally stored biological samples. The labels were clear: HIV, malaria, tuberculosis, COVID-19, and a freezer marked Ebola, holding sealed silver bags made for high-risk materials. The equipment, the way things were sorted and stored, it wasn't some makeshift setup. This was an organized lab space built on purpose. The homeowner is a Chinese citizen who was tied to the illegal biolab case in Reedley, California, so this whole thing jumped to high-priority watch right away. According to Fox News, Sheriff Kevin McMahill from the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department said many of the seized items were identical to what they found in California, from the types of samples to how they were kept. The first check started over a building code violation, but it turned serious fast when dangerous samples showed up. Federal officials now see this as a potential biosecurity threat. Revelation 6-8 comes to mind here, like an echo from far off. I looked, and there before me was a pale horse. Its rider was named Death. They were given power over a fourth of the earth to kill by plague. The Bible verse isn't meant to replace the investigation's findings, but it paints a picture where disease isn't just a what-if anymore. It's real stuff, sealed up right in the middle of a neighborhood. Matthew 24-7 adds to the uneasy scene. Nation will rise against nation, and there will be famines in various places. In the middle of all that, a secret lab with deadly disease samples makes a lot of people think of warnings that have been talked about for a long time, especially as one global crisis after another keeps piling up. Social media blew up fast with two clear sides. One side is angry and scared about the risk of a bio-leak and asking how oversight could fail so badly. The other side is more careful, saying this might just be an unlicensed medical lab with samples for diagnostic research and no proof anything has spread to the community. The FBI is still testing everything and hasn't released final results yet. They're keeping their official tone neutral for now. Still, the almost exact match to the Reedley case, the huge number of samples way beyond normal, and Ebola sitting in that freezer mean this can't be brushed off. When something like this is sitting right in the middle of Las Vegas, the question isn't just how long it was running, it's how many more places like this are still out there, undiscovered, and how would we even know about them? 2. Mount Mayon erupts violently, the night sky lit up by a terrifying sea of bright red fire. The photo spread like wildfire in just a few hours. A mountain that had stayed quiet for years suddenly glowed like hot coals, and the whole horizon changed color. This wasn't some special effect or a movie scene. It was Mayon in Albay, Philippines, when darkness got pushed back by light coming straight up from deep inside the earth. That moment alone was enough to make anyone stop and stare. Mayon is famous for its perfect cone shape, but this time, that beauty turned into a real threat. From the crater, red-hot material shot hundreds of feet into the air, then poured down the slopes in long, glowing rivers stretching for miles. Thick clouds of ash rolled and twisted, flashing with lightning, painting the sky a strange, dark shade that's hard to describe. Fast-moving flows of super-hot gas, ash, and rock raced down, wiping out everything in their path. Even people far away could see the light bouncing off low clouds, like the whole area was under a burning dome. Standing in front of a sight like that, do you really believe this is just another normal night on Earth? Joel 2:30-31 says it plainly. I will show wonders in the heavens and on the earth, blood, fire, and columns of smoke. The sun will turn dark, the moon will turn blood red, before the great and terrible day of the Lord comes. These images that just happened make those words hit hard. You can't easily ignore them. Geologists spoke up quickly. They talked about magma pressure, friction from ash particles creating electricity, and the rules they've recorded for years. To science, this is just a familiar chain of events from a very active volcano. Nothing more, nothing less. Revelation 8-7 describes, the first angel sounded his trumpet, and hail and fire, mixed with blood, fell to the earth. When red light filled the sky, when the smoke column rose high and fire poured down the mountain, the matchup felt too clear to call it just a coincidence. If Mayon can turn an entire night into something this frighteningly bright, the real question is, what's coming next? What will the next mountain say? And when the sky changes color again, will you choose to believe it's all random or start getting ready for what was warned about long ago? 3. Dozens of glowing gold objects streaked across the night sky like a fierce meteor shower. A video got shared everywhere fast. The night sky suddenly lit up. Dozens of golden streaks shot across like rockets. The light lasted longer than usual, covering a big stretch of sky and leaving people stunned. When you see this, what do you think the sky is showing us? It happened in lots of places with little light pollution, where the horizon is wide open and you can see every movement clearly. Witnesses said it looked like a really intense meteor shower, but the color was strange, bright gold, shining like molten metal. That moment made it feel like the sky was pouring down these glowing bits on purpose. The objects appeared almost all at once, moving really fast and leaving long trails of light, hundreds of yards long, against the dark sky. Some trails changed color as they dropped lower, giving a weird sense of depth that's hard to explain. The way they all moved together and that standout gold color made this way different from regular meteors. Matthew 24-29 paints a similar picture. Right after the trouble of those days, the sun will go dark, the moon won't give light, the stars will fall from the sky to the earth, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. When those golden streaks came down together, it felt like those words were coming to life right in front of us. The whole thing only lasted a short time, but long enough for hundreds of videos to pop up. The sky felt alive then, like an invisible door had just swung open. A lot of folks stood quietly, watching each streak disappear below the horizon, with all kinds of questions running through their minds. Revelation 6:13 says, the stars in the sky fell to the earth, like unripe figs, dropping when a strong wind shakes the tree. That falling image brings a feeling that the normal order is slipping out of control. Things up high suddenly coming down low, right into human sight. Astronomers gave the usual explanations. They talked about periodic meteor showers, satellites catching low-angle sunlight, orbits, and speeds they've already calculated. The science explains how it works, but it doesn't quite touch the feeling everyone who saw it had. When you put all the pieces together, the huge number of objects, that rare metallic gold color, and them showing up at the same time as other signs around the world, it's a picture that's hard to ignore. For anyone looking for meaning, the Bible feels like the key that unlocks the symbolism behind what's happening. If the sky has started raining these golden lights like that, the big question is, what comes next? Is this just one single moment, or the opening chapter of bigger signs starting to show themselves? 4 suns lined up in the sky over a bright orange suburb in Texas. The sky over a Texas suburb changed suddenly at sunset. Against a deep orange background, 4 suns appeared at the same time, lined up straight across the horizon. Their light overlapped, creating a sharp, intense band of brightness cutting right through the sky. This wasn't a quick flash. It lasted long enough for lots of people to stop, look up, and start recording it, all feeling pretty confused. The light didn't spread softly like a normal evening sun. It shot out straight, sharp, and clear, making the edges of the clouds look razor sharp and the shadows on the ground shift constantly. Everything below seemed visually distorted, like the sky had split into layers. In that moment, we weren't seeing the one familiar sun anymore. We were seeing 4 bright sources all lined up on the same line. Right after the pictures spread, many witnesses described the same feeling. The sky stood still. The light stayed in place. It didn't move quickly. That made this different from those brief optical illusions. For people who saw it in person, the first reaction wasn't curiosity, it was caution. Luke 21:25-26 came to mind as something worth thinking about. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish and perplexity. The image of multiple suns appearing together hits right at the heart of signs in the sun. Not just one strange light, but a real change in the normal order of the sky. On social media, the debate started immediately. Some people said it was a parhelia effect, where ice crystals in the atmosphere bend the light and create extra suns on either side of the real one. Those explanations come from physics and have been seen before, usually in cold weather. Others focused on the details, the unusually deep orange sky, 4 clear disks lined up perfectly, and how long it lasted so everyone could see it with their own eyes. For them, it wasn't about the scientific name. The real issue was the feeling that the natural order was being broken right in front of them. Joel 2:31 adds to the picture. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the great and dreadful day of the Lord comes. This Bible verse doesn't explain how it happens, but it points to changes in the heavens as a warning sign. When the sky stops behaving the way we're used to, the question isn't just what to call the phenomenon. It's about what it means that these things are happening more and more often. If 4 suns can show up together in the sky today, how much further will the next sign push what we think is possible? 5. The trumpet sound echoed everywhere. The sky shook like the end of the world was coming close. In the quiet middle of the night, the sky suddenly gave off a deep, heavy metallic sound that stretched out and spread wide like one huge trumpet blast. It started in London, rolled over to Sweden, hit Michigan, then reached British Columbia, leaving people in a wide belt of towns, stunned. In that moment, we realized the sky wasn't silent anymore like it usually is. The trumpet blasts came in waves, cutting through the air, sounding clear like metal being squeezed, pulled, and bent way up high. Lots of folks woke up, stepped outside, and recorded it while the noise just hung there overhead. In British Columbia, Dr. Glenn McPherson noted it even when every electric device in his house was off, the vibration still came through stronger, as if the source was right above the clouds. Revelation 8-6 gives a key to understand it. The 7 angels who had the 7 trumpets prepared to sound them. Short words, but they focus on a sound coming from above, not from the earth. When those metallic trumpet blasts rang out at the same time across different continents, the Bible picture suddenly felt real and close like never before. Revelation 11:15 keeps leading the thought. The seventh angel sounded his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven, which said, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Lord and of his Messiah." Here, the trumpet isn't just noise, it's a signal marking a big, deciding change for all people. Scientists offer other explanations. Some experts say it's distant industrial noise, train brakes, or sound waves bent in the atmosphere from temperature and pressure changes. Those ideas come from physics and have popped up here and there in history. But from a faith view, the question goes deeper. The sound showed up at the same time in far apart places, with the same features, described the same way: deep, heavy, long metallic trumpet. While science looks at how it works, the Bible points to what it means and when it's happening. What's really striking is how people reacted. On social media, thousands of videos got shared, comments poured in, feelings swung between fear and waking up. For many, the sound didn't just scare them, it made them stop and think about where they stand in the bigger picture. If those trumpet blasts have already sounded and been heard around the world, the question now is what comes next. Is this just the first call, or a sign warning of a final trumpet that will shake the whole familiar order of the world? 6. A mysterious figure like a human shadow floating against the blue sky. A short video suddenly went viral on social media. It captured a moment where a shape that looks just like a person stands upright, high among the clouds, completely separate from any normal part of the sky. The image just hangs there, not falling, not fading, not blending into the clouds. It makes people stop and look closely right away. The first feeling isn't curiosity, it's unease. In that moment, we realize the sky might be hiding something. At first, the figure is just a faint, dark streak. But the longer you watch, the clearer it gets. A body, a head, and a straight, standing posture. It drifts slowly, shifting position gently, almost like it's watching what's below. The space around it is so quiet, it feels eerie, while the figure stands still in the middle of a huge sea of clouds. It gives the sense of a purposeful presence. For a lot of people, that moment sends chills down their spine, because the shape looks way too human to be just random. When the video gets zoomed in and shared again, the debate explodes. Some folks insist it's only clouds forming a shape. Others point out that the way the figure moves doesn't match how clouds naturally drift. No one's asking you to believe anything here, but that image forces you to face a question you can't easily ignore. Matthew 24-30 comes up as a key reminder. Then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven. All the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. This Bible verse doesn't describe the exact shape, but it stresses a sign appearing in the clouds, in a place where everyone's eyes will look up. Revelation 1-7 adds more. Look, he is coming with the clouds. Every eye will see him. The focus is on an open appearance, not hidden, not secret. When a figure stands among the clouds and gets caught on camera from different angles, those Bible words become hard to set aside as you think about faith. On social media, two clear sides form. One side says it's an optical illusion, light effects, and layered clouds. The other side focuses on the shared feeling the video creates, the heavy silence, the upright stance, and the sense of being watched from above. Both sides have their arguments, but neither can fully close the story. What really stands out isn't deciding who's right or wrong. It's how the image affects everyone's thinking. When the sky stops being just clouds and sunlight and starts carrying shapes that make people pause and wonder, faith gets stirred up naturally. If more figures like this keep showing up among the clouds, the question isn't "What is that?" anymore. It becomes, "What is being warned about?" And when people's eyes are forced to look up high, are we truly ready for the real meaning of the signs that are starting to appear? 7. A strange, glowing ring appears in the night sky over Chile. The night sky over Chile suddenly had this huge, perfectly round ring of light hanging there, so perfect it almost didn't seem real, frozen in place like time stood still. A soft golden glow spread evenly around the whole circle, cutting through the quiet darkness and making everyone who saw it look up in shock. The video only lasts a few dozen seconds, but it was enough to leave millions of people stunned, because it looked more like a door had just opened than some normal thing in the sky. The ring stayed exactly the same shape, completely still at a high altitude, with steady light, no shaking, no flickering. It felt like a complete structure, with sharp edges and an empty center, more like a passageway than just an object. After a few seconds, the light slowly faded. The circle blurred, then disappeared, leaving the sky empty again and one big question with no answer. If you were standing there, what would you think you just saw? A lot of people brought up Revelation 4:1 right away as a key. After this I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven. The Bible verse doesn't talk about light or a specific shape, but it stresses the idea of something opening, a boundary between two worlds lifted for just a brief moment. The video spread fast and brought all kinds of guesses. Some saw it as a swirling energy ring, others thought of a space gate, and some felt it was a sign of something much bigger coming. The main feeling it left wasn't outright terror, but a quiet unease, like the sky had just shown a structure that's always been there but rarely seen. Revelation 9:1-2 came up too, as a warning kind of explanation. I saw a star that had fallen from the sky to the earth. It opened the abyss. Here, the door image ties to hidden realities being uncovered, things beyond normal human understanding. Of course, there are technical explanations that it's probably rocket upper stage fuel dump, creating a ring of light when it reflects sunlight from tens of miles up. But that answer doesn't quite ease the feeling the image gives. The symmetry is too perfect, the stillness too complete, and it feels like something intentional showed up in the night sky. What makes this story worth thinking about isn't deciding whether to believe it or dismiss it. It's that it forces us to rethink the line between what we see every day and what we're not really ready to face. If that glowing ring really was a door, how long was it open? And did we just happen to catch that rare moment? Because if a door really appeared in the night sky over Chile, the final question still hangs there. Who opened it? And what will come through the next time it opens? 8. Giant symmetrical smoke ring in the sky. Down below the airplane wing, right in the middle of a sea of gray clouds, a huge perfect circle appeared, looking like someone had punched a hole straight through the sky. Thick smoke formed the edge, perfectly round, just hanging there strangely still at tens of thousands of feet up. The scene was shot quickly through the window, shaking a little from the high-altitude wind, enough to give you chills down your spine. What in the world are we looking at? The person filming was a passenger right by the window. Once the plane leveled off, his eyes locked onto this thing suspended in the clouds. The smoke ring was so big it filled the whole view, probably hundreds of feet across, with sharp, round edges, like someone drew it with a compass. The smoke didn't spread or fall apart. It held its shape for many seconds before slowly fading. At that height, wind tears everything apart fast, but this ring just stayed put. The video popped up online and spread like wildfire. Comments exploded, people arguing hard, every frame picked apart. Some said it's an open gate, others thought it's a sign, and a few tried to find a safer explanation. But most felt uneasy, because whatever was floating there didn't look like anything normal you'd see in the regular sky. Isaiah 64:1 records a powerful cry. Oh, that you would rend the heavens and come down. that the mountains might quake at your presence. That Bible image of tearing open the sky is violent and direct. It describes breaking the normal order. When you put those words next to this round smoke ring hanging in the clouds, the connection is hard to ignore. Lots of folks offered scientific ideas, saying it might be a glory effect or some contrail from aerospace activity. But a glory is usually a faint halo of light tied to the plane's shadow, and aircraft trails rarely make a perfect steady circle sitting still in open cloud layers. Those details make the technical explanations feel shaky. Revelation 19:11 paints a different scene. Then I saw heaven opened, and behold, a white horse. The one sitting on it is called Faithful and True. Here the sky isn't just quiet background anymore. It becomes the stage for judgment. Scripture doesn't use that picture to comfort us. It's meant to warn us. So this smoke ring in the clouds isn't just something to look at. It hits right at our sense of safety when we're flying high, reminding us the sky isn't always peaceful. As someone who tries to sound the alarm, I'm not saying for sure it's supernatural, but I will say this: some sights show up to make us stop and think. If the sky really was torn open, even just for a moment, it's not for entertainment or curiosity. The question still hangs there, just like that ring. When the boundary gets drawn, will we look the other way or get ready for whatever's about to come through? 9. A pale blue door in the sky, just hanging there, like a pathway leading to another world. At the edge of the night horizon, in the thin, misty clouds, a soft patch of pale green light drifts slowly and just stays suspended. The light is gentle, spreading evenly, making everything around it feel covered by a strange, different veil. The woman holding her phone stands still, the picture shaking just a little. Have we ever thought the night sky could open up like this? From what people say, at first it was just a faint streak of light. A few seconds later, the shape stretched out, the edges straightened, giving the feeling like a frame was being built right in the middle of the air. The blue-green glow didn't flicker or flash, didn't come with any sound. It just quietly appeared and then changed. The feeling it left was both strange and peaceful, like something was being gently revealed. The video got shared and quickly caught a lot of attention. Viewers paused on every frame, zoomed in on every detail. Some called it a light illusion. Others felt it carried a spiritual message. The mystery of it is exactly what makes it hard to ignore, because it doesn't force a clear answer on you. Revelation 4:1 paints a picture worth thinking about. After this, I looked, and there before me was a door standing open in heaven. And the voice I had first heard speaking to me like a trumpet said, "Come up here." The words don't describe the shape in detail, but they suggest a moment when heaven and earth connect. When you put it next to that green light hanging at the edge of the clouds, the connection feels very natural. Some folks say it was just a gap in the clouds where city lights or moonlight shone through. Others mentioned a drone with LED lights. Those possibilities are real, but they don't fully explain why the shape changed so slowly, giving that sense of depth, like another space was opening up. John 10:9 records Jesus' words, "I am the door. If anyone enters by me, he will be saved." Here, the door isn't just a physical entrance, it's an invitation. The Bible often uses that image to talk about choices, about faith, and about important turning points in a person's life. When I watch the video again, what stays with me isn't fear. It's a kind of quiet waiting that's hard to name. That green light didn't rush in, didn't push anyone away. It just showed up and then faded back. As something that stirs faith, I see it like a gentle reminder. There are things that only open when we stop and really listen. If there really is an opening beyond our usual understanding, the question isn't what it is. The question is this: when that moment comes, are we ready to believe we're being invited to step closer? 10. A spinning light behind the clouds. The mysterious, perfect circle in the dark night. The darkness was torn open by a strange glow behind thick clouds, fading in and out, still then moving. The man out for a walk stopped dead in his tracks, eyes locked on the sky as that light started spinning into an almost perfect circle. That moment sent chills down anyone who saw it. What would we do if the sky suddenly spoke right in front of us? At first, it was just a faint spot, like a hidden light. A few breaths later, it closed into a full, even circle, turning steadily behind the cloud layer. The motion was slow, steady, no sound at all, like something carefully arranged. Then the ring of light faded away, melting into the night, leaving a heavy silence behind. The video spread fast and drew millions of eyes. People paused on every frame, trying to find something solid to hold on to. It felt like a symbol had just been drawn across the sky, there long enough to be seen, then gone before anyone could fully grasp it. The big question still hangs there, refusing to go away. Luke 21:25 comes through like a direct warning. There will be signs in the sun, moon, and stars. On the earth, nations will be in anguish. This Bible verse doesn't describe the exact shape, but it stresses signs that break the normal rhythm of nature. When you put it next to that spinning ring of light in the night, the coincidence gets hard to ignore. Many people suggest it could be light reflected from a rocket, an airplane beacon, or some drone. Those ideas get mentioned to calm folks down. Still, the perfect round shape and even spinning give the feeling it was intentional, like a message being sent, not just some random glitch. Revelation 12:1 says, "A great sign appeared in heaven." In Scripture, a great sign often ties to times of judgment and decision. Here, the sky isn't just a backdrop, it becomes the place where something is announced. As someone who warns, I don't see this as a curiosity to wonder about. I see it as a serious reminder of our responsibility before what's coming closer. The ring of light is gone now, but the feeling it left stays. As these signs keep showing up more often, the question isn't whether they're real anymore. The question is where we stand in this moment. If this is the last knock from the sky, then silence or indifference, where will that take us when the final judgment is spoken? Here are 10 phenomena we've seen lately. They're no longer just separate events. Strange sounds echoing in the sky, glowing rings hanging in the clouds, shadowy shapes floating in the night, spinning lights that suddenly vanish. All of them connect into one ongoing sequence. Each one is like a small puzzle piece, but when you put them together, they form a much bigger picture, way beyond what any single person can see alone. When you step back and look at the whole thing, it's really hard to call these just random moments. The Bible talks many times about a period when the heavens and the earth both start to speak up. Luke 21:11 puts it plainly, "There will be great terrors and great signs from heaven." What we're seeing today makes that verse feel less distant and more real, like it's happening right here in our own generation. Not every phenomenon has a clear explanation, and not everyone experiences them the same way. But the Bible never asks us to understand every mystery. Instead, it calls us to stay awake and alert. Matthew 24-42 says, "Therefore keep watch, because you do not know on what day your Lord will come." That kind of watchfulness isn't about being afraid. It's about being aware of what we're facing. These signs in the sky, even if they spark debate, still raise the same big question for all of us. Where are we putting our trust? In a world full of confusion and chaos, the Bible points to one solid place to stand. Proverbs 3-5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." When everything around us shifts, faith becomes the place we return to for steadiness. If this series of events stirs something in you, a thought, a concern, or a quiet prayer you want to offer to God, don't keep it to yourself. You can jot down a short prayer, or share your honest feelings in the comments below as a way of responding to what you've seen and heard. If these messages mean something to you, please share them so others can think about them too. Supporting the channel isn't just a technical thing. It's a way to walk together through more of this content, where we'll keep looking at these signs and reminders as they unfold. Finally, thank you so much to everyone who's listened this far. May the Lord give you and your family His peace, protect you in these uncertain days, and guide every step with His light. John 14:27 says, "Peace I leave with you, my peace I give you." May that peace stay with us all. Amen.
Да, гигант из гигантов.
What's going on when everything starts spinning out of control all at once? In just a short time, nature suddenly turns and acts without hesitation. Snow and ice rush down into places that used to be warm. The ground collapses and swallows whole villages. Tornadoes rise up under clear skies. Strange lights shoot straight up high, then go out. Clouds gather and change shape right on top of mountains. 10 events hit one after another, fast and hard, not following any usual pattern. They happen in different places, leaving behind damage, fear, and questions with no answers yet. Do you think this is just random chance? If something inside you feels uneasy, please leave a prayer in the comments as a way to show your faith in the Lord. Amen. Now, so you don't have to wait long, let's keep going together into the next part to look for some answers. We'll start right with 1. Terrifying blizzard hits California. Heavy snow everywhere. People running out of food and getting desperate. California is facing a really tough, rare challenge right now, and it makes us stop and really look at what's happening. A place that's used to warm sun, blue ocean, and wide-open freeways is suddenly locked in ice and snow, with everyday life pushed to the breaking point. The urgency isn't just from weather forecasts. It's coming from the pictures and numbers coming in hour by hour. This blizzard came from a strong atmospheric river, mixing with a big blast of cold air dropping down from the Arctic. Weather experts say the clash created way more rain and snow than usual, all packed into a short time. According to Fox News, many mountain areas in California got 6 to 10 feet of snow in just a few days, far more than the normal total for whole years. In about 36 hours, big stores like Costco, Walmart, and Trader Joe's in lots of places ran completely out of basics, from bottled water to canned food. In places like Big Bear Lake, Lake Arrowhead, and Mammoth Lakes, snow is piled deep on roofs, parking lots, and main roads. Key highways, I-5, I-15, and SR 330 got shut down because of chain reaction crashes and avalanches. Matthew 24:7 says, "There will be famines and earthquakes in various places." People often bring up this Bible verse as a warning about times of widespread crisis, when shortages stop being just local and start hitting whole communities hard. Local governments in San Bernardino and nearby counties declared a state of emergency. The National Guard got called in, and Black Hawk helicopters dropped food and supplies to cut off neighborhoods. Still, officials admit the help can't keep up with the need, especially for older folks and families with little kids. The 911 lines were jammed for hours. Luke 21:11 records, "There will be great earthquakes, famines, and pestilences in various places." When you put those words next to pictures of cars stuck in long lines and neighborhoods cut off, the warning feels very real, not like some far-off figure of speech, but a reminder of how fragile modern life really is. Some